Ooh, looking good. You too, baby. Lots of hotties up in this hood, huh? America has some of the most attractive people in the world. Or do we? We'll talk about that later. But within the US, which of us are the hottest and which are the nottest? We're going to attempt to find out. Of course, we know beauty is only skin deep and attractiveness is subjective. While some people might see a frog, others will see a prince. Now, I'm not here to try to hurt any feelings, and believe me, I don't think I got it going on 100% myself, though I see your comments, maybe on A-, maybe a B+. For this analysis, I'm going to just look at the data and try to determine which of our 50 nifty United States has the most attractive people, and which ones might not be so babelicious. So, get ready to judge people on some very shallow metrics as we uncover America's hottest presidents. Are you hot or are you not? Maybe we can measure things and we can try to find it out. Everybody's hot, but we're also not. Maybe it's the inside. That is what it's all about. So would you consider these people attractive? This is the Crystal Light National Aerobic Championships. This was in 1988. For those of you who aren't old enough to know what was going on here, these people were viewed as the most attractive, physically fit people in America way back then. And their hair was totally on point for that era. I know that's hard to believe. Now, in order for us to rank the states by attractiveness, we have to first define some criteria, right? The problem with that is, you'll find one website that says stuff like compassion, honesty, and being a good listener are all considered attractive. And then other more realistic studies say attractiveness is measured by money, success, intelligence, and physical traits. So on the left is a very sensitive man who is compassionate and honest. And on the right is a man who is filthy rich. Which one would you say is hotter, ladies? See the problem here? So we're gonna try to measure the intangibles, but we'll mostly focus on the shallow stuff, because we can measure that easier. As we go through this stuff, we'll keep our hot list and our not list, just like in high school. Okay, so let's just get right into it. First off, which states are the most physically fit? You can't talk about attractiveness without discussing body shape. That's easy. There's a lot of studies and polls on which states are the fittest. One thorough study we found was from exercise.com, a site which must know what they're talking about, right? They measured the number of states with the highest obesity levels and also measured the states with the highest number of gyms per capita. Minnesota ranked high on this list. While 28% of residents here are obese, the state of Minnesota has more gyms per capita than any other state. New Hampshire's on here. Lots of people here hike and stay in shape. Connecticut residents are the 10th least obese, and they have the second most gyms. But look at Colorado. Only 21% of Colorado residents are obese, and it's a very active state with people spending a lot of time outdoors. Colorado is regularly called the most healthy state. So here's the map of exercise.com's fittest states. Green is fitter and red is not fit. No surprises that the Deep South ranks so poorly, considering that a high number of people here don't exercise and are simply out of shape. There's my state, almost dead last. But we can actually look at the states where we know people are working out the most. MapMyFitness, an app, did a study where they actually tracked the number of hours people were working out the most. This is just a raw number of actual working out hours. Here's that list. California tops the list, which may or may not be a surprise. Also of note are two states we already talked about, Colorado and Connecticut. The states that worked out the least during this study were Rhode Island, Maine, Hawaii, West Virginia, South Carolina, and the Dakotas. So for now, we can kind of start a list based on what we know. Here are the states that are the hottest so far and the nottest so far. Notice Florida's on there. They rank towards the bottom on the workout per day list and are above average in terms of obesity. But what about money? Like, people, especially women, will say the wealthier you are, the more attractive you appear. Now, before you get too upset by that, there is data that shows that not only do people with money come off as more confident and successful, they're deemed more attractive. And don't forget, confidence and success were on our boring list of things to measure, so we can use wealth as a metric here. Now, I found this study that said you can actually look at somebody's face to tell if they're rich or not. Apparently, people who make more money live happier, less anxious lives, as opposed to those who are struggling to make ends meet. And you can actually see it in their face. Over time, your face begins to permanently reflect and reveal your life experiences. So, smile more. Even if things aren't going your way right now, you'll look happier and that will reflect your life experience. Anyways, let's try it. Can you tell the difference? The man on the left is poor, and the man on the right is rich. On that note, which is more attractive to you ladies? But there's a wrinkle in this metric though. Apparently, studies have shown that the more attractive you are, the more successful you become, meaning pretty people get further in life. They get raises faster, they get more business deals, and they generally just get there way more than less attractive people do, at least when you measure their face and body types. So apparently, life just works out better for conventionally more attractive people. So are wealthy people attractive, or are people wealthier simply because they're attractive? In any event, we can tell which states have the wealthiest people. That's super easy. Wikipedia has a list of the states with folks who make the most money. They are as follows: Maryland, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, California, New Hampshire, Alaska, Washington, Virginia, and Colorado. Are we seeing kind of a pattern here? We've already talked about several of these states before. And if you look down here, you can see some states we've already talked about before on the not list. States like Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Dang, my state's on the not list now? That's humbling. Kinda. Sorta. Maybe. Our updated hot versus not list, factoring wealth, is as follows. And we'll be showing a top 10 hottest and ugliest at the end, so stay tuned for that.
In 24 hours, I can make enough antidote to save Gilligan.
My turn. The bad news.
The mantis carny bug travels in swarms of millions. Chances are, by sundown, we'll all be bitten.
Now, what about smart people? Are they considered attractive? Like, are dumber people less cute? That depends on your level of dumb, I suppose. I mean, some of pop culture's biggest buffoons are charming and adorable in their own way. But according to lots and lots and lots of links I clicked on, intelligence and attractiveness are related, meaning smart people are considered sexy. On the extreme end of that, there's actually people called sapiosexuals who are only attracted to smart people. But we have another wrinkle in our metrics. Looks like women think smart men are hot, but men think dumb women are hot. No joke. Or at least the smarter the woman is, the more likely they are to challenge a man. And if a man had a choice, he'd want a sexy dumb woman as opposed to a sexy smart one. I don't know how I feel about that. So how do we measure this? Well, for men, it's easy. There's a lot of data on which states have the smartest people. Now, just about every single data point we found measured high school and college graduation rates, and I'm very much aware of the fact that college doesn't make somebody smart, so we're only going to look at high school graduation rates. The states with the highest high school graduation rates are Montana, New Hampshire, Minnesota, Wyoming, Alaska, North Dakota, Vermont, Maine, Iowa, and Utah. And the states with the least smart people, but maybe the hottest women, I guess, according to men who are shallow and insecure, are these states. And I do have to say, those states do have some super hot women in them, so maybe there's something to that. And as a bonus, lucky for us, the SMART metric also helps us with another attractive factor, sense of humor. Time magazine interviewed a smart person who said funny people are far more attractive because it's a sign of intelligence. So measuring the smarter states also covers our basis for the sense of humor part of attractiveness that people claim is a big factor. Interesting. Okay, so let's throw in a couple more metrics here and then we'll crunch the numbers and come to some conclusions. Now, personality is often cited as a big reason somebody's attractive. Which states have the best personalities? It's the state you live in, YouTube viewer. I can see through the screen that you're totally lovable. But besides that, there's many polls which asked everyday Americans like you and I which states have the friendliest people. I selected this one because they actually polled people who claim to have visited most of the country. And they asked people which states have the nicest and most friendly people overall. And they are Minnesota, Tennessee, hey Tennessee, South Carolina, Texas, Wyoming, very nice, nice, Indiana, Colorado again, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Hawaii. Good for those folks. They're really nice. That pretty much knocks Oklahoma off of our not list. But look at the bottom of this list. Now, some of the mean states might be considered states where people are hot, like California, New York, Florida, Massachusetts, basically the whole Northeast. That makes sense. So here's our updated hot versus not list now. Seems like some of the states that were looking pretty hot are starting to show their true colors. And some of the states we thought were not are kind of growing on us a little bit. Are accents sexy? They sure are, at least according to many of us. One travel site looked at the accents from various regions in America to see which people have the sexiest way of speaking. Apparently Texas has the sexiest accent, followed by the Boston accent, the New York accent, the Maine accent, the Chicago accent. Okay, this poll is stupid. Anything that's not a southern drawl simply isn't sexy. Boston and New York accents are sexy? Come on now. What do they just ask people in the Northeast or something? I'm not using this. But finally, one more metric we can use is by asking people, or at least looking at websites which ask people. So, which states have the hottest and nottest people as ranked by actual average Americans? The states with the sexiest people, according to polls, are Illinois. What the? That came out of nowhere. Colorado, California, Hawaii, Texas, Massachusetts, Washington, and Louisiana. Okay, we'll take that into account for our final rankings. The least sexy states? Nebraska ranks as the least sexy, according to people polled, which is really mean, followed by Alaska, New Jersey, Alabama, Maine, and West Virginia. Ah, they're nice in West Virginia, right? So I think we have enough data now to make a pretty solid decision as to which states are the most attractive. They are as follows. And we have enough data to determine which states are not. Now I'm only going to do the top 5, and I hope I don't hurt your feelings. This wasn't supposed to be mean, I promise. Of course, there's other metrics we didn't consider, which are hard to measure. Confidence is a big one. We don't have data on which people are the most confident. We can't measure men's biceps or women's butts or how long men's beards are or which states have crazy women, all of which are very important to many of us when considering how attractive somebody is. What's also interesting is many of the states on the unattractive list are poorer states. So are poor people not attractive? I mean, I'm sure there's lots of women who thinks guys with tractors or dudes who drive big old work trucks to work are sexy. Also of note, many of the states on the not list are also less educated. But remember, men apparently like less smart women more.
I'm dumb and I'm hot.
I know you are, Karen. That's why you're the second most popular member of the Mappy family. Do you like Mappy because he's so smart?
No, he's not smart or rich, but he has a great personality, and he's good in bed.
What the? OMG, I cannot even begin to imagine how Maps do it. I never actually thought about that before. Get out of here, you guys. Sorry about that. Okay, before we leave this topic completely, I simply had to know which countries have the most attractive people. The answers were all over the place, but there was some commonality among, for the sexiest men, countries like Australia, Italy, Spain, America, Brazil, Canada, the Netherlands, and the Chinese. Haha, JK. For sexy women, many countries mentioned among various polls were Brazil, Ukraine, Russia, Colombia, the Philippines, Spain, Australia, South Africa, and the Netherlands. So the Netherlands has sexy women and men, apparently. And hey, before you get all upset with me and call me a jerk because I'm shallow or conceited, look at the not list again. My state's on it. So I'm pretty much calling myself not attractive, or at least saying my home state has less attractive people than other states. So don't hate me. Now, if you didn't make the hot list or you're on the not list, don't worry about it. You're beautiful in many ways. Promise. And now I'm going to sing and play the piano because I know you love it or hate it. I don't care. I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing. Where did you come from, baby? Hey guys, if you learned something new or you just like this video, make sure to like it. And if you really like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of our videos about what it's like to live in different places in America. Peace.